You don't understand what you're doing. Either here.
Can you get the lights? Yeah, open. Let's begin with Allah salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers, those of you who are in the back, can you guys come a little closer? This way, maybe it's a little bit easier. We have more space for us this time. If you notice, we took some real estate from the sisters' side. So hopefully they won't complain. We'll begin the program with the recitation of the Holy Quran. I invite Brother Qasim with the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
I'm going to be reading the Surah Fatiha and the translation. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdina siratal mustaqim Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Master of Judgment, you alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those who are astray.
Thank you again for that recitation. A couple announcements. You guys are all aware there's the Muharram procession, the Jalus is tomorrow. It begins right after Zohar prayers. That's 1 p.m. In New York City, same location, same spot. This year, we're going to, besides the commemoration, we're also going to add the element or the theme of respecting or the sanctity of the Holy Quran. We talked about this yesterday, why this is important, especially with what's happening in many parts of the world where they're disrespecting the Quran, they're burning the Quran, especially in front of Islamic centers, masajids. So it's been, there's been a movement, I would say, or a call, especially during the month of Muharram, where many of our Islamic centers, processions as well, but also in the Haram, where they're specifically having lectures, but also gearing the motivation for us to honor that Quran. So I think it's very important as Shia that we do that. We also join and do our part, because if you think about what happened in Karbala, it was to save that book, right? It's to save the word of Allah, to make it last forever, right? There were people, individuals who were trying to destroy it, change the context of it, right? And Imam Hussein gave his life in order to protect the word of Allah. So it should be very dear to us. A few more announcements. For those of you who aren't aware, every evening the youth group is selling a few items in the front of the center, where they're selling, I believe, there's different tabarruqat from the harams. There's rings you can purchase, shirts that you can purchase, and anything that's being purchased, that those funds are used or will be used by the youth group to facilitate and have more programs such as this. So definitely encourage you guys to purchase some things there, help the brothers out, the sisters that are putting this together. And also encourage your parents to also maybe buy some stuff as well. Okay. One more announcement. For those of you guys who aren't aware, there are some new faces here. There is an app, if you guys haven't downloaded, called Slido. That's a way for for us to give our Q&A, our questions to the Maulana and our feedback, and then he'll be able to address those during the next Majalis session. For those of you guys who don't know the code is 814-3443. Okay. So now I'd like to invite Brother Muhammad for recitation. You want the podium or podium? Okay. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It was speak of the mischief and virtues in chains, just laws were sacked with rules insane, as the tyrants on the rise and mass confused, offered lust with lies and faith abused. Thus the signs indicated and time dictated, some souls elevated as Al-Hussein alayhi salam navigated, a seed of the Prophet and the sight of his parents, the time and deluge, he was so apparent. In the name of Allah, for the sake of Islam, for the freedom of life and soul of Islam, gave greatest sacrifice, but not his hands, with the members of his kin and many of his friends, who were Muslim, and the friends of those hearts so pure, they offered their lives as shield and cure. Thus the tyrants came forth from the curtain way old, then peace was brought and lives were sold. And in the manners were the two young brothers, in the boldness of their moves were the teachings of the mother. Shown on Muhammad with the veil known as Haider alayhi salam. Those children were slain, not of the feeling of the mother. With a message from his father was Qasim bin Hassan alayhi salam. Radiant jewel of Islam was this glowing young son. But Qasim into pieces with a brighter day old. On the sand and heat it was savage and cold. Then the pride of the Hashims rode back from the river, and the tyrants made sure that he did not deliver. They cut off his arms, but spirit was set, till an arrow hit the bag, only eyes got wet. Fell a blast from a horse with no hands for resort. Then Al-Hussein alayhi salam rushed ashore for brothers and resort. Those children who waited with the patience were told, and thirst in the camp was 3 days old. Soon Akbar came down with spear in his chest, which in father had to pour, so severe was the test. He was image of the Prophet, and the life of Al-Hussein alayhi salam. He was vision of a mother, and the eyes of Al-Hussein. Now the leader was alone, as he called for the help. Then a baby fell down, a response from the crib. This thirsty, pure infant was a son of Imam, who acknowledged his father and the call of Imam. Thus Al-Hussein alayhi salam brought him for some water in the field, and showed them baby's dried lips and appeared. But the 6 months old got an arrow so thick that turned him over and tore his neck. Ali's girl went to sleep with his father and no fear, with the cradle on the fire and their head on spear, and the mother's empty hand with the tear-dried eyes, who looked for the baby to sing lullabies. And a sister by the campus saw the horror of this trip as a knife tore the neck where the prophet put his lips. Earth and grief roared, heavens and mourned, sand turned red when Al-Hussein alayhi salam was torn, and a child full of tears with her tiny bleeding ears, bruises on her face and her thirst so severe, she ran for her father who lay beheaded, and cried for the uncle for help she needed. Syed Raza Baqar looked for her in the sadness of that night, did inquire every soul in the land of the plight, but Sakina was sleeping on the chest of a body, with the love of the father from the fragrance of his boy. Then the candle pushed down while flames went up. Little children rushed out as their dresses lit up. It was night full of cries and the innocent quests, shattered with the dreams and broken with the nests. All defenses lay to rest after trials and the test, to face one and one. Even history would detest, who fainted with the illness, face of torture and torment, a master of the pious and devotees' ornament. Lashes on his back, heavy chains on him long, but ladies were the prisoners, was the wound of none. No charter for them but their rope-tied arms, and grief sorrow high from Kufa to Sham. But the daughter of Ali alayhi salam challenged miseries with the messages, with the families and bazaars and deadly courts of savages, with the depth of the patience and the zenith of bravery. Islam was rescued forever from the slavery. Salawat.
So now I invite Taki, you reading or both? Okay. Salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wajib of Jahum. A letter from Imam Hussain alayhi salam to Habib ibn Mazahir. Oh my friends, salam on you. Perhaps you don't know that we have reached Karbala from Medina on 2nd Muharram. I have my family and my children with me in this condition. We are surrounded by enemies, so if you want to save Islam, reach Karbala before the time of Asr on the day of Ashura. Otherwise, we will meet on the day of Qiyamah. Your childhood friend, Hussain ibn Fatima. ये खत में शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ ये खत में शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ तुम्हारा दोस्त है तन्हा तुम्हारा दोस्त है तन्हा हबीब आ जाओ ये खत में शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ शहीद कैसे हुआ वो बताओगे आकर تم حال مسلم بے کس سناؤ گے آ کر رقیہ تکتی ہے رستہ رقیہ تکتی ہے رستہ حبیب آ جاؤ یہ خط میں شاہ نے لکھا حبیب آ جاؤ لگاؤ اس سے بھی انداز میری غربت کے جہاں پہ ابن علی لکھنا تھا وہاں میں نے دیا ہے ماں کا حوالہ دیا ہے ماں کا حوالہ حبیب آ جاؤ یہ خط میں شاہ نے لکھا حبیب آ جاؤ بتا رہا تھا اسے کوئی بھی نہیں ہے میرا تو بولی ثانی زہرا حبیب آئے گا ہے اس کو تم پہ بھروسہ ہے اس کو تم پہ بھروسہ حبیب آ جاؤ یہ خط میں شاہ نے لکھا حبیب آ جاؤ وہ جب یہ سنتی ہے کوفے سے آ رہے ہیں شقی تو پوچھتی ہے ہمارا بھی آئے گا کوئی دعائیں دے گی سکینہ دعائیں دے گی سکینہ حبیب آ جاؤ یہ خط میں شاہ نے لکھا حبیب آ جاؤ گوارا کر نہیں سکتی حسین کی غیرت تمہاری زوجہ کی چادر کو لوٹ لے امت تم اس کو چھوڑ کے کوفہ تم اس کو چھوڑ کے کوفہ حبیب آ جاؤ یہ خط میں شاہ نے لکھا حبیب آ جاؤ تمہارا دوست ہے تنہا تمہارا دوست ہے تنہا حبیب آ جاؤ یہ خط میں شاہ نے لکھا صلوات
Again in loud salawat please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In Karbala's realm of friendship strong, two souls entwined, a bond lifelong. Habib ibn Malahir, loyal and true, in the face of darkness his courage grew. From childhood days to battles fought, their camaraderie's lessons taught, side by side they faced their fears. However, a friendship forged through joys and tears. When the call of sacrifice arose, Habib's resolve unwavering, he chose for Imam Hussein his life he'd give. In Karbala's sand for truth they strive. Amidst the chaos and the strife, Habib stood tall, a beacon of life. Through fate dealt blows he did not sway, for love and faith he'll never betray. In Karbala's sand his valor shone, a soul so pure, forever known. Tragically lost, yet his name lives on in the annals of courage, a hero's song. The sacrifice of Habib, a tale to tell, a friend so dear who fought so well. His memory etched in the hearts of all, in Karbala's tragedy, his soul did call. Through the ages, his story remains a testament of love that forever sustains. In reverence and awe, we recall his name, Habib ibn Madahir, eternal flame. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So, one more announcement. Just for everyone understands that again tomorrow program will be the same as today. So after the procession, the program will be the same time as today's program, which will start after Maghrib and prayers. So without further ado, Maulana, I would like to give you more time. So let's welcome Maulana with a loud salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala
Takbir, Nare Risalat, Nare Haydari, Muhammad wale mohon rakta salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Salatu wa salamu ala rasulihil kareem wa ala ahli baytihi tayyibin at-tahirin. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم كتابه المبين وقوله الحق. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. صلوات. So we are commemorating the 5th night of Muharram, and as the time passes, I know this is a weekend, and Alhamdulillah, it means when the program is starting late, it means that Mu'mineen are ready to stay longer here. Well, I'm not going to take a lot of time of yours, but I'm just saying that because it's a weekend, so inshallah, we can spend some more time. Even if it's not a weekend and coming week, I know that schools are closed, but people have work. If we can change, our routine a little bit. For Imam Hussain, I was just talking to some of the brothers and said that you remember when I mentioned this book written by Allama Tabatabai about Sirat al-Nabawi? In that there was a story that someone went for Hajj and came back and met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after that. So with all the other du'as, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that may Allah return the money you spent for Hajj. So, the Hajj, right now, even the people who are in US can feel that how difficult, even financially, to go for Hajj. In that days, it was both financially difficult and physically difficult. So it just came into my mind that even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was aware of this, that people are quite, they get worried about things like this. So just taking a point from this small story is this, that inshallah when we spend time for Islam, when we spend time for Imam Hussain, when spending time for Azadari and Imam Hussain is spending time for Islam, right? So if we spend some time, if we spend some money, inshallah it will be returned. Not only returned, but it will be returned with many folds. You will say, okay, Maulana, if I spend like $100, I need to get $1,000 back, right? I cannot guarantee that. Because it's not, when I say that it's going to be returned with many folds, it might not be the materialistic many folds. And inshallah, with this story, Rasulullah is asking for a dua for materialistic or material return. But inshallah, this material return will be done along with thawab and all these tawfiqat. So if we can change our routine a little bit in coming days, if we can take some time off, Well, that'll be good. Well, I probably was not practicing when I was working here, but I'm asking you, brothers and sisters, because a few things you learn in Hausa is this, that you have to have a belief in something which is unseen, right? Amununa bil ghaib. So when Quran says, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this Quran is hidayat for those who believe in unseen. So one of the unseen thing is this, that even your material needs could be fulfilled by your spiritual journey, right? So inshallah, we'll make a kind of a pact with each other and with Imam Hussain that inshallah we're going to try to spend some more time and some more efforts for this Azadari. One of the things is this, that inshallah from tomorrow we'll have, not from tomorrow we'll have a Julus, and the brothers have arranged something about Quran. They will have a more recitation. I don't have the details. Probably Brother Ali would tell us what to do. It's a really good opportunity for us to go to the city, to Manhattan. There are a lot of people there. Manhattan is not a dead city like the downtown Houston. I'm from Houston. So on Sunday, even if you'll find a lot of people. So if you get the opportunity, try to equip yourself with the basic knowledge of Islam. So if anybody comes to you, approaches you, and asks, okay, what's happening? Why people are burning the book, your holy book? What is their problem? We need to be equipped with these answers. So inshallah, if you don't know anything, you can refer it to ulama there, or those who know these things. One of the mission of Karbala is to guide people, right? And give the message of Karbala. If I don't give the message of Quran and namaz and Islam, I'm gonna give the message of Karbala. Just this, that okay, there was a person who was slaughtered really brutally, right? Other than that, I wouldn't have any message. So we need to know the basics of Islam, and inshallah we know these. If we don't, please refer it to those people who know it. We have to be careful about it, especially me, if I am sitting on this member, that we say a few things which is registered as a thing which is in Islam. So I shouldn't be making a deliberate mistake, even a mistake which is because of my ignorance. So I have to be aware of it. Please recite a salawat. So like I promised with my younger brothers, and now I need your attention because I promised you, all the younger brothers here, that I'm gonna start my majlis with a small story, right? So today's story is this, that remember any one of you remember the story my younger brothers, I don't know your names. How can I address you? Here you go. You know the story? What story we mentioned yesterday? No? You don't remember it? Yes.
I remember it was about wood, like wood.
About what?
About wood.
Oh yeah, no, before the majlis.
Yeah, wood.
Okay, that's fine. Well, please recite a salawat for the brother. So this small story is about, that how generous and how great our Prophet and how our Imams were. And, one of the reasons we come to the majalis is to know the seerah of Imam and Prophet. So one story is this, that one time Imam Hussain was going to meet his friend, and he was passing to, I think he was in a garden or something, he had a big garden. And he was passing through that, and he saw there's a slave working in the garden, or servant you can say. And after he worked, he was sitting down and eating his lunch. With his lunch, he was eating some bread. In front of when he was eating that bread, there was a dog, and he was hungry, and he was looking like this person, if this person could give me something, I'll be really thankful to him. So this person who was a slave working in a garden, he was eating one morsel of that bread and giving the other morsel of the bread to the dog. And Imam Hussain saw that, and he asked him, why are you doing this? He said, this is a dog, he doesn't know where to get the food, and he's really hungry, and he was sitting in front of me, so I should take care of him. That's why it just came in my mind. Again, relate this a little bit to all this for the kids, but related to the fitrah we were talking about, that the innate qualities Allah Ta'ala has produced in all of us. So his fitrah was asking him to help this person, this animal who is helpless. So Imam was so moved. I wouldn't say moved because Imam is not like this. Imam doesn't have the reactionary actions. He's Imam, he's related to Allah, he's connected to Allah. So he came back, he met with his friend, he came back and he said, you know what, because you were feeding this hungry dog, I bought you and I am freeing you for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only this, I'm freeing you and I bought this garden as well, and I'm giving this garden to you as well. So this is Imam Hussein when he see a person being rahim or being merciful to a dog, right? So if we come to the, like I said in the beginning of the majalis, that we are coming to the dome of Imam Hussein, under the dome of the haram of Imam Hussein, we come to the majlis. That's what some of our ulama say. When we come here with the pure niyyah, pure intentions, you can imagine what Imam can give us. My personal choice and personal dua from Imam is this: to give us the ma'rifat of himself and make us his Shia. Being a Shia of Imam is really important, brothers and sisters. So inshallah, I'm going to just leave this story and this thing with this note. Please recite salawat so we can enter our discussion. So if you recall, again, I don't want to recall because recall has become a really used word here, but we have to do that because it's a really dry and kind of a deep subject for both of us, and it's really hard for me to explain it if I understood it the right way. So we were talking about that what's the make and model of a human being, how the human being is built. And we talked about the nufus, the three nufus. We talked that we start our journey, which is kind of, it's not with our own will, but it is, we are all compelled to do this journey by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this journey is that we start our journey as a human being. In the beginning, we are something which is like clay, which is not living thing, and then we change from one stage to another stage till we reach to this stage where we're a mature person who can think and ponder and would know what is right and wrong. So we reach there, and then we discuss that now by this time, let's say a person who is like 20 years old, he knows what are the universal rights and what are the universal wrongs. Now he knows where he has a choice to choose two paths. Either he's going to choose the path of going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and continuing his journey to elevate himself and reach to the zenith of his existence, which is the presence near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or make a choice himself, a willing choice, not to take that path, not to take the path of Sharia, not to take the path of listening to ilham, listening to wahi, listening to the divine laws or following the divine laws, and come back or fall back to the lower levels, to the level of animal, to the level of plants, or to the level of clay even, like we discussed before. Now I promised you, like I was talking to Brother Ali yesterday, that inshallah we are going to do this 7 categories of nafs or types of nafs. We can say this nafs is the state of this intelligent being who has the choice to make, either go to the wrong way or the right way. if this person is gonna choose the right way, he has to pass these 7 categories. There might be different categories and different definitions, different descriptions by different urafa, because ilm irfan and urafa, they have their own, like we have ijtihad in fiqh, they have their own visions, because irfan and urafa is based on their own visions. So they walk this path, and Allah Ta'ala opens the different paths and different meanings to the world and reality to them. So this is one of the category. There might be some different categories, different stages, which are mentioned in different books. But again, let's stop a little bit here. How is it? This is a recap of our whole story, right? How we started it. So we said that we're talking about the tranquil soul, nafs mutma'inna. And from nafs mutma'inna, we are gonna think that how this nafs mutma'inna is related to Imam Hussein and his companions. And why this nafs mutma'inna, having a nafs mutma'inna is important, or tranquil soul is important to reach to Karbala and do the the jihad of Karbala, or the revolution of Karbala, or perform the revolution of Karbala. And how is it related to us? Because inshallah by the end, we're almost like in the middle of Ashra now. By the end, we're gonna say that, okay, now we know that these tranquil souls were in Karbala, and that's why they were performing those hard, really, really difficult tasks. And by knowing them, by knowing that what was their mindset, what was their lifestyle, we'll change our mindset, we'll change our lifestyle so we can understand Karbala. Right now, just to understand Karbala. Then connect ourselves to these tranquil souls. Because then when I connect my soul to them, I'll be able to walk this path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what Shifa'at is, brothers and sisters. This is how Imam Hussein makes this journey easier for us. Because sometimes if there's no Imam Hussein or Aimma, I would have to open these doors on my own, and it requires a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of time. But when I come to Imam Hussein, when I come under the qubba, under the dome of Imam Hussein's haram, then Imam Hussein opened these doors for me. Because I know that how a person who has given all of his brothers, his sons, even his 6 months old, and he is still mutma'in. He is still calm. He is still, I'm gonna use some words, please. If you have any question, ask me later. He is still enjoying that time. Not because, na'uzubillah, he left everyone. He's enjoying this sacrifice, and it is visible from his face. It is written that Imam Hussein's face started shining from the morning of Ashura, and it was on its peak when he was about to be slaughtered. For us to sit here not knowing all these doors, all these unseen worlds, all these awalim ghaib, we would never ever able to fathom Karbala. If we don't know this, we'll know Karbala to the just really preliminary level. Just like a person, any white person, any Hindu, any Christian would be crying for Imam Hussein. Might be doing matam as well. Because, it's a really, really tragic thing which happened to him. But me and you, if we claim that we are Shias, inshallah, we are not claiming Shia, because being Shia is a big thing. A muhib of Imam, we need to know to which state we have to connect with Imam. Not only the mere human state. We have to connect with him. We have to connect to our Imam as a ma'mum. We have to connect to our leader as a follower. We have to connect to a person who's going to grab our hand and take us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, this is an effort, well, this is just, well, you can say the intellectual or theoretical effort. The practical effort is more difficult, and it requires more pondering, it requires more courage to start this journey. But again, people do really, really difficult things in their life, right? Why? Because they see the value of doing those things in their life. I'm sending some mission to Mars to find water. Baba, we have a lot of water in Earth. Why are we doing it? Because people like to do difficult things. Sometimes it's of no use. Sometimes it's of some use. And sometimes this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you and me. Remember that example I was giving, that we are going to a journey. If we don't know where we have to go to our destination and our origin, we will be just, wandering around. Sometimes, when you're bored, in Pakistan, it used to happen. I don't know if it happens like this here too or not. We just drive around just to take some fresh air or something. We used to call it outing. One time I said this and some brother said, you are such a fob, because there's no word outing here like this. Please recite salawat. I was fob at that time. I'm still fob though, because I just keep going and coming back. So I'm a constant fob. Please recite salawat. One more point before we do this. I just want to read one hadith which I came across, and I was just thinking and writing my notes, and I think we should mention it. It was kind of related to the discussion we were doing yesterday, but just do this hadith, and I'm going to say something about this, and then inshallah we're going to move forward. So Imam Ali says, I mentioned the Kalamat al-Qisar in Nahj al-Balagha, the small, I don't know if it's in Nahj al-Balagha or not, but it's like a small hadith from Imam Ali. What does Imam Ali says? That al-jahilu mayyatun iskana hayya. Such a weird thing Imam saying. Al-jahilu mayyatun inkana hayya. A jahil person, an ignorant person, is a dead person. Although inkana hayya, although he looks like he is living. So when we were talking about, again, like I said, it's related to our discussion yesterday and day before yesterday, a person who doesn't take this challenge, this is a challenge from Allah, this is a task from Allah and challenge from shaitan that, okay, you are on the bifurcation, I'm going to make sure, shaitan is saying, I'm going to make sure that you are not going to take this path towards Allah. I'm going to make sure that you fall back from this intelligent being down to, the dungeons. So a person who is jahil, who is ignorant, who is in a deliberate ignorance, that he is not accepting this challenge, he is not a living person. Right? We talked about this yesterday. That a person who is not following Allah's laws, taking Allah's shariat, acquiring it, practicing it in his life, he is not going to be in this journey. A person who is not taking this journey deliberately, he is not a human being, as a matter of fact. This is what this hadith says. He's not even an intelligent being. He has regressed from that organic, natural journey which Allah Ta'ala has put him from clay, from thin towards a thinking being. He has regressed from there. Why? Because he didn't take this challenge. Please recite the salawat. Inshallah we'll move forward. Just to take another ayah, and then to enter to these stages, which stages we have to follow. When we follow these 7 stages and we reach to Nafs Mutmainna and further than that, we acquire something. And what is that? This is called Sibghatullah. So the Quran, Surah Baqarah, ayat number 138 says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم صبغة الله ومن أحسن من الله صبغة ونحن له عابدون. So the discussion there in 136 and 37 ayat is this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking Rasulullah to ask Mu'mineen to say that we follow all the Anbiya, and then he mentioned all the names of all the Anbiya and say that we follow them and we are Muslimun. We are peace-loving people, right? Islam is peace. Islam means peace. Yeah, that means peace too. But Islam means to do taslim, to accept it, to say yes, whatever your Creator asks you. Again, don't think in this way that it's kind of like a compulsion there. There's no compulsion, or you don't bring that like Rafiddin ayah here for me. The compulsion is something else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about something else there. But once you are a Muslim, Muslim means a person who does taslim, who accepts, not by compulsion, by understanding it, by knowing it. Knowingly he knows that I have a Creator and He has sent down all these prophets. He has sent down this Sharia, and I am accepting it. And unless I do that, I'm not a Muslim. I don't care how much peace-loving you are not a Muslim if you don't do taslim for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to do taslim. We have to accept. Why? Because if you see, like I mentioned this before, that those people who don't want to accept any organized religion is because they just want to have a fun life, right? Although they get indulged and entangled with this fun. It's just like anybody who is doing drugs. Drugs is fun, right? In the beginning it's fun. But the consequences of drugs are really bad. I don't know if you guys have seen this, brothers have seen this. Like, there's a one zombie drug now. They have like 2 or 4 drugs, they mix it, and then people become like zombies. They just walk like zombies. You probably have seen these videos, right? Ali Bhai is mashallah really aware, so you can put it in here. Please say salawat. Being away from Allah and not thinking that I'm not confining myself to the laws of Allah or divine laws, it's like getting addicted to drugs. It might have really good feeling in the beginning, but eventually you will see that you are getting into a rut. You will be spoiling not only your life, but everybody who is around you. Just because I cannot wake up in the morning for 2 rakat of namaz, just because I cannot fast, just because, I don't say all the ahkamat right now. Few things, if I cannot do it, just because of that, I'm going to get into big troubles. There's one discussion too, even for people like Yazid and even Shaitan. These people don't become Yazid or Shaitan overnight. They were doing so many things gradually, which made them go there to become these horrible people. I don't know if people are going to start calling me scary Maulana, but I have to do one more thing, which is narrated by Ayatollah Bahjat. He said, like, you know what? We were not put in that kind of test. Otherwise, I don't know how many of us would be Shimr or Ibn Ziyad. Nobody have offered us the government of the city of Ray, or the, good Tehran side, Iran side. At that time, for Arabs, Tehran was a good, beautiful place. Nobody has offered me that. I have not been tested. I can say, oh, we are not Kufi, Kufis are like this and that. We are not tested that somebody is going to come to me and say, if you go behind Muslim ibn Aqil, you will be killed, your children will be killed, and something is going to happen to your wife and women. It's not that easy, brothers and sisters. It doesn't mean that we get scared and we say, okay, you know what? I do taslim that, okay, the Kufis were right. You know, this is a story there. That when this Jewish people were going, I think it was about Goliath or something, I'm not sure about this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked, Hazrat Musa asked that we need to go and fight with these people who are in the city so we can get the city back. And they're like kafir, they're something like this. So the Jews said to Hazrat Musa that, you know what, we're sitting here, you go with your Allah, fight with them, when you liberate the city, we are going to come. These are kind of words which are used in Quran. And after that, I think I was reading in a tafsir or something, in their textbooks they said, you know what, how great these people were? Just to find kind of excuses that those people who didn't go with Hazrat Musa to fight with these really powerful people, instead of saying that, oh, we did a wrong thing, they said the person or the people or the king who was ruling that city was really powerful. And they actually kind of made stories about his, how tall he was, how scary he was. Sometimes this, inshallah, this is not going to happen to us when we say, okay, Ibn Ziyad was threatening Kufis like this. And so we say, okay, you know what? It makes sense that Kufis didn't help Imam, right? The lifestyle we have right now, in the conditions we are living, it goes to this, is inclined towards this. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and I hope I am wrong, that inshallah we are not feeling in this way. This is my observation, it could be wrong. The current situation of Shias and Muslims is this, that okay, if he is gonna like slaughter me like animal or like a goat, I'll say, okay, I'll give my Imam to you. Khuda Hafiz. So it happens because we are not courageous. We are not courageous. Why? Because sometimes we don't have ilm. We mourn for our people who are passed away as if they are annihilated. We were talking about annihilation yesterday, right? They're not annihilated. They just moved from this world to another world. If they have gone to, they are good people, they have actually upgraded their lifestyle. They were living in a really bad, a world where you have, limited resources, you get sick, you have everything limited here. To a world where everything is unlimited. But the shart, the thing which has to be in our mind is this, that we have to be on the right path. So being in this right path, choosing the right path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this bifurcation by an intelligent being is an intelligent thing to do. You ask a small child that if he has a $100 bill, you say, okay, I'm going to give you a shiny penny, give me the $100 bill. If he is not aware of what the money is, he's probably going to be able to trade it with you, right? Because the shiny penny or quarter, a new shiny quarter, looks glittering better than the old $100 bill. Sometimes that's what we do. We deliberately sell our akhirah for our dunya. Deliberately. We know that, or we know the little bit of akhirah, that's why we sell it. Because a person who knows, who believes that the akhirah is gonna come and it'll be better than this dunya, he's not gonna, or she's not gonna sell this akhirah for this world, right? So what to do? In Farsi they say, che bayat kar, right? What should we do? And this is what they ask Maulana to. Maulana, just give me 2 sentences. What should I do? How would I become like Imam Hussain? 2 sentences to define whole Islam. Baba, this is not Mimbar Suluni. I am not that person who said this. Those people who can explain Islam in 2 sentences, they are there. They wrote their books. Their ahadiths are there. But sometimes it's not that easy, especially if you ask a person like this, like me. Please recite salawat. So it needs efforts, deliberate efforts, to get this sabghatullah, to get the color of Allah. Now, if I translate this ayah I read, is this is the natural way of Allah, and who is the better than Allah in ordaining a way. And we worship none but Him. So this is a translation. Sabghatullah is translated as the way of Allah, because it's not a literal translation. Sabghatullah means the color of Allah. Now, does Allah has a jism or a body who has a color? No. Sometimes this, because there's Quran and Arabic is such a rich language, they use the word to explain too many things. Too many things are being explained by one word. So when Quran is using sibgha here, the color of Allah, it means that we're gonna go and see what the properties of color is. For example, if you take a dye and put in a water, what does it do? It spreads out in the water. It's a blue dye, and it's gonna make this water blue. What this process called? Diffusion, right? Simple chemistry, right? Probably 7th grade. If you put a cloth in that water, this cloth, white cloth, will become blue as well. What is this? This is an infusion. This color is diffused in water and infused in that color. So the color has two properties, diffusion and infusion. Islam and color of Allah, when it's translated as the way of Allah, which is Islam, or Shariat of Islam, has this innate property to diffuse and infuse, to be spread out and to be taken by other people, and to be absorbed in the qulub, to be absorbed in the souls and spirits of human beings, not Muslims only, human beings. I'm relating this ayah to what? To Karbala as well. Like I said, we need to have, inshallah, like the way we are gonna have a Quran with the alam and all the tabut and everything, we need to make this connection of Imam Hussein to Allah. There is a connection. Connection has been made. We have to see this connection. Sometimes, I was talking to my brother and he made a really good point. Sometimes we don't make this connection. Mostly Shia, like I said. So the Imam Hussein, Imam Ali is for Shias. Quran, Namaz, Rasulullah, and Allah is for our big brothers. What kind of Islam is like? It's kind of na'uzubillah. It's not the normal Islam, right? So keep this in your mind that just like Islam, the way of Allah has this innate quality of diffusion, of spreading out, and infusion of getting affected or affecting the hearts and the souls of the whole world. Karbala and Imam Hussein has the same property. Karbala and Imam Hussein has the same property of diffusion and infusion. That's the sabghatullah in Karbala. It is making sabghatullah, the color of Allah, more prominent in a war of few hours, probably 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours maximum. The battle of Ashura is taking you, is kind of a time travel. The journey you have to make in years and probably centuries could be done in few hours. That's what happened to the companions of Imam, especially those who were not with Imam, like Zuhair, right? Although they were in the different camp, they were away from Imam, or Wahab Kalabi, who was not even Muslim. Because he had this sabgha, he didn't stop his heart to be infused by Allah's glory. When he saw, and when they saw Imam for one time, 1 minute, for an instant, they were able to become like Imam Hussein. I had a question today, how we'll become courageous like Imam Hussain. One question a day though in Slido. Inshallah, as we get close to Ashura, it'll be more than that. Please recite a salawat. So this is what we are trying to do here. When we come to Ashura, when we do the Azadari, then if keeping this thing in your mind, would anybody would ask if Azadari is necessary or not? In a nutshell, you have to follow a path towards Allah. It might take years, it might take centuries, but when you come to Imam Hussain, when you come to Azadari, it might take few days or months or even hours. That's how important Azadari and to link ourselves to Imam is. Inshallah, we're going to talk about the marifat of Imam as well in the context of this, that we need to know the nafs mutmanna of Imam Hussain. So before that, we're going to talk about a little bit what imamat and imam, the personality of an imam is. We have, na'uzubillah, I'm not saying about you brothers, but generally, we don't have any idea what imamat or what imam is. Have no idea at all. At all. It's just like, a person who can give me a job when I'm in need, right? Which they do. Don't get me wrong, they do these things. But we don't know more than that about Imam. Please recite salawat. Allahu Akbar. Ya Rasulullah. So the way to get this sabghat Allah, the way to get too close to Allah, the way to get liqa Allah, way to become like Allah or infuse Allah's properties or characteristics within your soul, we have 7 stages. We have to take these deliberate 7 steps, according to what notes I made and according to the thing I got it from. 7 steps and 7 stages I have to grow my intellectual soul or intellectual being to get to that level. The first, some of these stages are these that we have to get rid of. To get rid of, to increase myself from an intelligent soul towards one step towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first step is to get rid of my nafs ammara. Or oppose, you cannot get rid of your nafs ammara. So the nafs ammara is the quality within this intellectual being or intelligent being which asks him to go and do opposite what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, right? You have probably heard of nafs ammara, right? In Quran it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما أبرأ النفس إن النفس أمارة بالسوء إلا ما رحم ربي إن ربي غفور رحيم. Who said this? I don't want to translate this. This is Surah Yusuf. It says, sorry.
I think Prophet Muhammad said this.
No, Hazrat Yusuf says this. Please recite salawat. It's okay. Good effort, mashallah. Ya Rasulullah. Ya Allah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. MashaAllah. When is he saying this, Hazrat Yusuf? Well, I don't want to go to in details because they said this is a youth majlis. You know that. Like when something was happening to him, he was compelled to do a really bad stuff. He was not given a choice. He was given a choice. Either you go to jail or do this. And at that time, Hazrat Yusuf is saying that I do have nafs ammara as well. Even a Nabi knows that. Sometimes why is it important? Because we sometimes think that, Maulana, I don't have nafs ammara. It doesn't tempt me. Baba, sometimes it tempts you in the way you don't even know. Even in your ibadah, nafs ammara comes. Even when I come to the center, I'm doing my ibadah, I'm doing it for Riya. That's all nafs ammara, right? Again, I'm not going to go into details. I mean, these are really important subjects, but I'm going as kind of introduction to these stages so we can pass and know what nafs mutmainna is. So the first thing is this, that we have to get rid of these bad temptations which come in our nafs, or an intellectual being, a man with a complete intellect. We have to say opposite to whatever my nafs ammara says. Because nafs ammara always asks you to go against Allah's will. Now, the other nafs, the opposite to it, to whom I have to listen to. Now, when I deny whatever the nafs ammara is saying, I have come one level above of an intelligent being. Now I am a person who doesn't listen to shaitan. And not only listen to shaitan, I know what shaitan does. How does he come there? There's a small thing I have heard, and it's really important. Sometimes shaitan doesn't come to you and give you the total alternate of what good you are doing in your life. He doesn't ask you to go and move 180 degrees where you are going. If you are going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's not going to come there and ask you to get back where you're heading to. You know what He's going to do? He's going to tweak the path towards Allah a little bit. And you go in these big, freeways and the tollways. When you see a small bifurcation, in the bifurcation, it looks so small. You can take this one or this route. But this bifurcation goes all the way. As long as you go away from this point, it'll be away, this bifurcation will be away from the right path. That's what shaitan does. He doesn't ask you when you are doing the zakat or you're helping someone out. He's not going to say, don't help him out. He's going to say, okay, help him out, but just show a little bit. Mention this to him. You know what, one day you came to me, you needed some money, I gave it to you. I don't need that, I'm just mentioning. Why are you mentioning it? Why are you mentioning it? Because shaitan is there to make it, to ruin what you did right in your life. He's not going to ask you not to read namaz. He's not going to ask you to not to come to Majlis. Says again, I'm going to say one more thing so I will get more questions in slide. Right? Say these things so I can get questions in slide, but nobody budges, right? It's okay. One of the alim says, like, shaitan is not going to come and ask you not to come to Azadari. Sometimes he's going to be outside the door wearing black clothes and saying, welcome to Majlis Azhar of Imam Hussain. But when inside the Majlis of Azhar of Imam Hussain, he's going to put his, whatever he does. Doubts in your mind, riya in our acts. We're doing matam really hard and loud to, attract someone. Taking some different kind of voices from my throat to show that, I'm something. So this is how shaitan works through nafs ammara. The nafs, the state which saves you from that, and when you are really aware of all the cunning actions of shaitan, is the nafs al-lawwama. Nafs al-lawwama is, it's I can probably mention it, inshallah, it's not going live. In Tom and Jerry, right? Sometimes Tom has the red guy, the devil, and the white guy with the halo on his head. Something like this. This too. It's not like this, but something like this. The shaitan or nafs ammara is asking me to do bad thing, and nafs al-lawwama is trying to keep me to the right path. Why? Because you have made the intention right now that I have to go to this path towards Allah. This thing happens when you intentionally make an effort to start your journey to this path. If anybody who is not making this intention, shaitan is not going to go there and waste his time there, right? If somebody in Na'uzubillah is saying that shaitan doesn't come to me, I might have to see that maybe I'm a shaitan. Na'uzubillah. He's not going to waste the time Why is outside the masjid? Why is outside the Hussainiya Imam Barga? Because he's not going to go to a nightclub. He's not going to go to a pub. They are doing the shaitani thing themselves. They are mujassam shaitan by themselves. So a person, keep this in your mind, when a person who intentionally wants to walk this path towards Allah, these things happens to him. The Amara is trying to take him to the left, and Lawama is trying to keep him on the right path. Please recite salawat. Now, if this person is able to deny Amara and listen to Lawama, he's gonna come to the state, spiritual state, or the state of his nafs. His nafs is getting higher towards the ruh, which is instilled in him when he was born, or before he was born, with another state called nafs mutafakkira. Mutafakkira came pondering. The translation is like pondering, deep pondering and knowing that, okay, I'm denying Amara right now, and I'm listening to the innate ability to know, to be on the right path, or the path of Allah. How can I protect myself here, right? When you make, let's say when you make a road, you just don't make a gravel road, right? You have to put I don't know what you put, charcoal, things like this, and make a really good road. This nafs mutafakkira is gonna pave the way and make this road better for you. Why? Because now you're thinking about these things. Okay, now if I do this, giving you an example of mutafakkira, that you think about, like, who am I? Where I came from? Where am I going? Who is my creator? What are my responsibilities to my creator? This is all the things happening in the nafs mutafakkira. Because he has passed this stage of Amara and Lawama, he is on the right path. Now he is trying to make this path solid and better. After that, the stage comes where the divine revelations start clearing for us. Now we see the ayat of Allah in different way. Now when we go outside, the regular people, see or listen birds chirping. This person listens that they are saying Alhamdulillah. They are saying Subhanallah. Why? Because he has elevated himself from mutafakkira. He is pondering really deep. He is constantly in this thinking about Allah, thinking what he has to do, where he has to go, taking care of his haram and halal. Now he is in the state of aqila. Now he can receive this falhamhama fujuruha wa taqwaha. But you can say, Maulana, you said this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says when you come to that state, when you are an intelligent person, Allah ta'ala do give the ilham of the universal bad and universal goods. So how come this stage is coming again, right? So here there's another ilham, but this ilham is on the bigger level. This ilham is gonna make your nafs mutafakkira more stronger, and you became aqil. That's why when Imam Ali is explaining the aql, how does he explain aql? Aql is something through which you follow the rules of Allah and you save yourself from sinning against him. This is the definition of aql according to the hadith of Imam Ali. Please recite the salawat. So this nafs aqila is in touch with the divine revelations. I'm not saying that he becomes Nabi or Imam, but even awliya Allah, they are able to communicate with Allah. We can communicate with Allah too. We can go and talk to him, but we sometimes don't get the answer. Right? Why? Because this connection of ours is not connected there. It's not in 4G or 5G. It's still LTE or something like this, right? Maybe less than that. So we are not able to receive what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. But if we keep practicing that, after that, the stage comes which is called mutma'inna. Now when we say that, Ya ayyatuhal nafsul mutma'inna, and Imam Jafri Sadiq alayhi salam, please recite salawat, explaining these ayat of Surah Fajr in the way that this ayat are for the Imam Hussein, and not only for Imam Hussein, but the companions of Imam Hussein, is because they passed these stages. You know all these stages I said? They passed them. You asked me, how much time does it take to do it? The answer is probably 1,000 years, or probably 2 minutes. Just like for Zuhair ibn Qayyim. We'll say, okay, Zuhair ibn Qayyim, till the time Imam was leaving for Kufa after Makkah, he was Uthmani. He was following Usman. He was thinking that Usman was, the third Khalifa was killed, and Imam Ali killed him, because the propaganda against Imam Ali was like this. And he was not, probably he didn't fight against Imam Ali, but he was thinking that he was a Khalifatul Muslimin and he was killed. He was Usmani. But Imam talked to him, you know this, inshallah, when we talk about his Masayib, we talk in detail what happened there. Imam talked to him for few minutes. In these few minutes, he took all these stages, and from an intellectual being, a person with working brain, he became Nafs Mutmainna. Now the same person on Shab-e Ashur is saying, these are so beautiful, such a beautiful narrations there. When Imam Hussain said that, leave me and I'm just gonna go there because all they want is my head, that's it. Nothing is on you. If you go here right now, you're gonna get Jannah. The same person who was Usmani, who reached to this level in few minutes, you know what he's saying on the Shab-e Ashur? He's saying that I will be killed, and my body would be cut in thousands of pieces, and that will be burned, and those ashes will be thrown in the air, and this will be repeated 1,000 times. I wouldn't leave you. To understand, to know, and just to listen and just to say is easy, brothers and sisters. But it requires this journey. If I am still in the doubt that, okay, the religion I'm following is the right religion, or only these ulama, they just went to Najaf and Qom, they didn't have good things to eat, no Texas chicken or whatever. So they said, this is haram and that is haram, and that's, you cannot eat this and you cannot eat that. We have heard this, right? Oh, but it's nothing, it's just sometimes they just want to show that they are important, so they make halal and haram. No, it's not like this. If it's like this, Bismillah, come and read. Come read books, come to the Hawza, and prove that there are man-made laws which people or the ulama are saying that they are Sharia. A proof that working on Sharia, the haram and halal, the simple halal and haram of Islam is the beginning point of this journey. If I cannot take care of that, how can I talk about the Nafs Mutmainna of Karbala? How? It's only in my dreams. It's only my mental image. That's not real. If I go and see my life, I cannot relate with Imam Hussain. I cannot relate to Bibi Zainab saying, Ma rayatu illa jamila. How am I going to relate to it? How? How can it be relatable if I don't think reality like this? If I don't think that the world after this world is the real world. Unless I think that destiny is to get close to Allah. My destiny is to get the raza of Allah. We have 2 more nafs left. Brother Ali, please brace yourself. I'm not going to do it today. These are for tomorrow. I wanted to finish it to nafs mutmainna here. We'll start from those 2 nafs because they are the higher stages of nafs mutmainna, and it's in the ayat as well. We'll just stop here and we think and ponder tonight. We'll sit just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever our capacity is. Think about that. Read the maqtal. You cannot even read maqtal. When you read maqtal, it's so brutal. I mean, how can a person do things like this? Even after Karbala, they said like when they killed the people of Mukhtar al-Saqafi, me, myself, was reading the, I think, Tariq ibn Kathir, and it was written there that how they were killing people, that the person was cutting the heads and he was like tired, that how many heads should I cut? You must have a machine to cut these heads. I cannot cut that many heads. People became that brutal like this. But among this brutality, something comes out like this. I didn't see anything in Karbala but beauty. Who is saying that? Not a warrior, a woman. Now they have like women soldiers and everything. In old days, women were not soldiers. Women had like defined role. Bibi Zainab's role was defined. To stay home, raise kids. That's a jihad. That's what Rasulullah said to the women who come there and ask, can we do jihad or not? He said, no, this is your jihad. To raise good kids. That woman is seeing nothing but beauty. I don't know about you. I cannot relate myself with that. Unless I know that this is what this reality is. That you have to follow this journey and get to that level. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله الآخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم سلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. So brothers and sisters, this journey towards Karbala is actually a journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Through Karbala, inshallah, we can find the path, the right path, the fastest path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what the companions of Imam Hussain did. We talked about Zuhair ibn Qayn, who did this path or covered this big journey in few minutes. We talk about a person who did this journey from his childhood, and that was Habib ibn Mazahir. Habib ibn Mazahir was 77 or 75 years old, the oldest martyr in Karbala. But from his childhood, he was the lover of Imam Hussain. They said that one time in Medina, or probably outside the Medina, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was walking or going somewhere, and he saw few children were playing. So he came to one child, took him to his lap, and kissed him or did some shafqat on him. So people asked, who is he? He said, he's a person who's gonna help my Hussein in Karbala. That was Habib ibn Mazahir. Brothers and sisters, he started this journey from his childhood. And with all these things happening politically and everything in the after the demise of Rasulullah, staying with Ahlul Bayt, staying with Imam Ali was a jihad by itself. Habib didn't leave the corner of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam till Imam Ali became the governor of Kufa, and he was one of the elite forces of Imam Ali in Kufa. Imam Ali had an elite force, if you go in the Tariq, called Shurtatul Khamis, like 50 elite people. Habib was one of them. So he was deliberately taking this path, and because of that he was doing such a great thing that he was one of the Shurtatul Khamis. But he tried to help Muslim, but something happened. I don't have the details with me. Inshallah, we can research about it. For some reason, he was detached from Muslim, and Muslim was killed, and he was still in Kufa. But he knew that Imam was coming, and he was worried about this. But you know, when you are a person like Habib, you will make your way out of Kufa. I don't know how did he make his way out of Kufa. People said that he was traveling at night and hiding in the morning. Some said that he sent a person outside the Kufa with his horse and asked him, wait for me so I'll come. And how did he get to Karbala? But Habib was there. Habib was there to sacrifice his life for his Imam, because he knew that the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was or is through Imam Hussain. But you know, it's not written. I was just reading a maqtal. The details are not there, but some ulama say that the way he came to the Qafla Hussaini is really mazlumane, really heartbreaking. You know, from 2nd of Muharram till the night of Shab-e Ashur, people were coming from Syria and Kufa. Not people, the forces were coming to help Umar Saad to kill Imam Hussain. And they were not coming just like this. They were coming galloping their horses fast so they can instill the fear not in the heart of Imam Hussain, but the children and the women of Imam Hussain. That was the strategy of this enemy. That low this enemy was. He was scaring the children, the thirsty and hungry and tired children and women of Karbala. And that, I can imagine, we can just imagine. If anybody, if Bibi Zainab have heard that there's one person, not a force, but one person came from Kufa to help my brother, you could think that the heart of Bibi Zainab would be really happy at that time. I'll say salam to Habib that you made the heart of Bint Zahra happy. Because in Karbala, nobody is making them happy. Somebody is beating them, somebody is taking their chadar, somebody is putting them on the camel and taking them to Kufa. Habib came and Imam Hussain received him. Habib asked Imam Hussain that, okay, I'll go, I'm from Bani Asad, there are a few people of Bani Asad, can I go there? I talked to them on the day of Ashura. He gave great speeches there, that you know who he is. I don't know the matn of the speech, but that's what he said. You know who he is. He's our Imam. Why are you fighting with him? But just like these people were not able to listen to Imam, they were not able to listen to Habib either. And at last, Habib fought, and they said he fought like a champion. And then he was put down or dragged down from his horse. I'm not sure it was Habib or Zuhair ibn Qayn that Imam get close to him with one other companion of his. When he was dying, with the eyes, he was not able to say anything, but with his eyes he was saying, take care of him, take care of Hussein. But I will say, all the companions of Imam, O Habib ibn Mazahir, it's good that you left before Imam Hussein was asking Hal min Nasirin Yansuruna, because you wouldn't be able to see that how Sakina was stopping Imam going to these devil, these brutal people. And Imam was lying down on the hot sand of Karbala, calming Sakina down and saying, Sakina, inshallah, you will be coming to me soon. Then Imam went there. You were not able to see the trampled body of Imam on the earth of Karbala. سَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيُّ مُنْقَلِبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ مَاتَمَ Hussein.
Hussein.
Where has my Abbas gone? Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Abbas, you were my uncle. Oh, Abbas, you were my brother. Abbas, you were my son. Like you, there was no other. You went to search for water. You searched so far and wide. You went for your brother's daughter, and you searched for her. You died. Where has my Abbas gone? 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 You hear the thirsty children, you hear the man you hurt. Hopes are slowly dimming, so you ride out to Farat. Your brother was your master, but for him you never drink. Farat you rode much faster, for a guy you only think. Where has my Abbas gone? 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 The thirst, how it pains them, you hear it in your mind. Ratash, Uncle Abbas, why were they so unkind? Your mushk is full of water, you turn to the camp of his hand. You bring this for his daughter, but you'll never see her again. Oh, Yazid, may Allah curse you. Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Oh, Yazid, may Allah curse you. You denied Hussein some water. You killed his 6-month son, and you tortured his little daughter. Shackled and abused her, look, her earrings have now gone. Shasser held his father, where has my Abbas gone? 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 Oh, Zainab was your brother, the one who stood by you. Sport was like none other, his heart was pure and true. Look, Zainab, to the river, look there and you will moan, for there is the children's savior, but you're dead all alone. Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Oh, Muslims, when you're thirsty, remember the thirst of Abbas. He rode out to the river, but would not break as fast. Hussein has not as water, and Ruqayyah's lips are dry. Then Abbas will not have water, then Abbas would rather die. Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Abbas, the selfless brother, you showed such qualities, the bravery of your mother, the patience of Ali. This world, so many suffering, there is just so much wrong. Now we're your Ummah asking, where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone?
Allahumma salli ala. A quick announcement before Ziyara.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a quick announcement. Tomorrow there's of course a jalus, and inshallah all of you or most of you who can come inshallah will be there. Just 1 or 2 minutes of your time. We know in the recent events and current events there's been a lot of Quran burning by this accursed idiot, for lack of a better word, in Sweden. And so listening to the request, listening to the advice of our scholars and leaders, they've called for a public stance, a public demonstration of us showing solidarity with the Quran, right? And so we're making a request that we, if you can tomorrow at the Julus, bring a copy of the Quran with you to carry alongside, while we make the procession through the city. And this is not something that's happening here just in New York, inshallah. It's happening in the UK, it's happening in Lebanon, Iran, Iraq, across the US, inshallah. And just a quick thing that you mentioned in the lecture today, they were talking about the 9th of Muharram, so this quickly relates to Imam Hussein. I know there's a narration where when they were planning to attack the night before, Imam Hussein asked his brother to talk to the army and say if they can delay it one more night so that he can spend the night reading Quran. So, we bring our flags, we bring our alams to the Jalus as a symbol for Imam Hussein. But what greater symbol is there than the Quran itself? Especially in the times that we're living in today, where we have to make this stance clear. There's no difference between if they were burning, the name of Imam Hussein or the Quran. So inshallah, again, we're making a request that we do bring the Qurans, and we will be distributing Qurans as well, but ideally if you have your own, it would be much better. And I think that's it, inshallah. Thank you. And inshallah, like Habib ibn Muzahir made Bibi Zainab smile, inshallah, us with our Qurans tomorrow and throughout Muharram, we can bring a smile to Bibi Zainab and by extension Imam Hussein. Yes, salam.
متوجه زيارة. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا خير خلق الله، السلام عليك يا علي بن السلام عليك يا علي بن أبي طالب ولي الله، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى سبت رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حسين الشهيد بكربلاء، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الباقر، السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم، السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي التقي، السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد النقي، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي العسكري، السلام عليك يا خلف القائم المهدي المنتظر، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أنصارك وأعوانك جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم قل لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليهم وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا ومعينا حتى تسكنه رزقك طوى وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Drinking water.